welcome everyone to Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross, where we are your resource for education, connection, and collaborations to support you on your wellness journey. And I would like to start by thanking our sponsors, Dr. Erica Buchholz and White Sands Premier Travel, for the sponsored appearance, because it's these sponsored appearances that makes Mindful Mondays possible. But today we are thrilled to welcome Dr. Erica Buchholz. She is a master of laughter and play. With 15-year experience, Erica believes that the key to a joyful life is in passion for positive psychology. She empowers us to activate creativity, emotional regulation, and flow states. Dr. Erica Buchholz, thank you for joining us so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's so exciting.
So can you tell me what inspired you to dedicate your career to the fields of laughter and play?
Yeah, absolutely. Kids just know this, right? They just know that playing around, laughing, having a good time makes you feel really good. For some reason, that fades away as you turn into one of these grown-ups that we're supposed to be. And what I've come over time and time again is that when we're not feeling great, we are often lacking an aspect of play or creativity in our lives. And when you reincorporate that back in, things start to feel a lot better. And so through my own journey, yeah, play has been really helpful at feeling better and feeling more like myself and who I really want to be in this world.
Yeah. Maybe can you share a little bit with us about what your journey was like?
Yep, absolutely.
And how that helped.
Yeah, so I had a really kind of traditional career path. I went to school, I worked the jobs, I did all the things they asked me to do. I showed up as the professional, I wore the uncomfortable shoes. I did all of the things I was supposed to do. I did them well. I got, positive feedback oh, you're doing this great, do this. But I just kept hitting cycles of burnout. And just feeling like this is not the right fit. I am unhappy. I don't know how to get out of this. And some humans are really good at experiencing something once and getting themselves out and moving on. I like to repeat things to really learn how to do it. So went through a few of these cycles, and there was a moment where I Googled one day how to feel better now. Because that was it. I had nothing else. I had tried all the things that I knew how to do, and nothing was landing. And what came up on the very first Google result was laughter yoga. And I said, nope, that's not a real thing. There's no way that's real. No. Being the researcher that I am, I had to know more. And I looked, apparently it's very, very real. And laughter yoga, it's not like stretching and laughing. It's more intentionally laughing to adjust your cortisol, your stress hormones, and to feel better. And again, common sense tells us this. When we're laughing, we do feel better. It's not a really big leap. I don't often have to convince people of this. This is something people know. But intentionally incorporating it into your life, for me, that was the first step to break out of burnout, and actually break out of it. Because the laughter turns on your right hemisphere, allows you to be more creative and come up with creative solutions to the problems you're having, rather than just kind of doing the same thing and getting stuck in your thoughts and repeating cycles that really don't
and spiraling. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that deeply.
Yeah.
But the play piece, when you can intentionally add it in, it's changed everything, right? Because now I can dip into a low mood, but now I know just fake it till you make it laughter, and it changes me neurochemically, and I'm back to who I was, just 10 minutes ago before I dipped in. So it's been a really spectacular journey, and really, I wish I knew this sooner, but it's okay. Here we are now.
I think a lot of us do. I think you're the third or fourth person now that I've come across since doing this that had talked about laughter yoga. But before that, I had never even heard of that, and, you've seen people talk about goat yoga and they go with all those places. Then someone said laughter yoga, and I'm like, okay, how many different things can we do with yoga? But it like you said, it is a real thing, and it does help a lot.
Yeah. I've not done goat yoga yet, although that is on my list of things.
Really?
And who did penguin yoga. One time we had penguins around. Wild, so fun. I think they did the aquarium or something. So yeah, super fun. And yeah, the part I love about the laughter yoga is I don't need to have penguins in my room. I can do it where I want to do it. I could do it by myself. I could do it in a group of people. And all you gotta do is giggle. That's it. You can't do it wrong. See,
Yeah.
thing in my day where I feel like I can't do this one wrong. I can't laugh incorrectly.
No, and if I remember correctly, I think someone told me that your system and your body doesn't know the difference between a fake laugh and a real laugh. Would that be correct?
Absolutely, you got it. You still get all these like magical health benefits by simply laughing, and it doesn't have to be real. Ha 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 ha. Like that's not a real laugh, but
Yeah.
it totally helps. It makes your body feel good, and it can make other people spontaneously, genuinely laugh, and that's fine. If it's hard to laugh by yourself, you can laugh at me. I don't really mind. It's fine. It still all counts. It still all works.
And
Yeah.
it really does make a difference. I had one lady that tell me, it's like, she said, the thing I love about you, she goes, you're like smiling through all this, and I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. The truck catches on fire on Halloween morning and it's gone. I'm like, there's nothing we can do about it. No one was hurt, and yes, we lost a vehicle, but me and my fiance are like, just like, it's like, well, you got the smoking hot bod you wanted, didn't you? I'm not sure that's the way you should go about it, but I mean, really, life is too short to take everything so seriously. I mean, we have other vehicles. The main thing is no one got hurt. Vehicles can be replaced.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't know about you, but in my life, I've learned that it doesn't do well to just stress and worry and overthink things, because it's not going to change it. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you move on? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this piece about that I heard about anxiety that I love, right? Like it's this idea that I will think about everything, so I'm prepared for all of the terrible things that could possibly happen. And pretty much none of them have ever happened. I've spent a lot of time preparing for things that never happened. And often the thing that happens, I wasn't even creative enough to come up with myself, but I was creative enough in the moment to manage it and deal with it, because I have survived 100% of my bad days. I have an amazing track record of getting through them. Pretty sure I'll do that in the future too.
Yeah. I even learned that lately. It's like, you know what? You look at it. It's like, okay, it's always worked itself out. Can it do me any good to get all upset and worked out about it? It's going to be, you do what you can do, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you share a personal story where laughter significantly changed your perspective on a challenging situation?
Oh, sure. Right.
We all have them. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think when I was starting my business, I fell into the same trap that I had fallen into when I worked other roles, right? I had turned into a bad boss myself, right? You have to get these things done. It has to be really organized. How dare you have missed a social media posting that you put on your calendar thing, right? And I had noticed like I turned into what I didn't want to be a part of any longer. So in having started my own business, I turned into a bad boss. That's not okay. So knowing what I'm doing here and remembering trying to avoid a burnout, I said, how can I incorporate playfulness into my workday intentionally? And so that's what I do. Like I purposely make myself giggle during the day, even when I don't want to. Here we are anyway, because I'm also sometimes I'm like, I'm not in the mood to sit here and giggle. Like, no, I'm cranky and I don't want to, and I want to just do my stuff, but I also want to be cranky, right? Like we all get like this.
Right.
And still, I recognize the power of laughter to change my state of mind, to enter into flow states. So I do the flow cycle, and the flow cycle, I think, has been the biggest part to my business. There's 4 stages. The first thing you do is you struggle with whatever your problem is, which I have no problem entering into the struggle phase of a task. Right? But the second stage is where a lot of us get stuck. We get like frustrated or angry, or it's something that isn't going right. And so we could move off and watch some Netflix or TV or whatever. But if you could change what you do in that moment into some kind of release For me, that's play. That can be laughter. It can be doing something creative. It can be doodling. It can be going for a walk outside. Just distancing and releasing the pressure from that task. Your brain does all these magical, wonderful neurochemical things, and you will then enter into a flow state where the thing you were struggling with actually becomes really easy. And you're just like, oh, wait, I can do that. And it's over and it's done with, right?
Yeah.
And then the other piece that we all often forget, but I'm sure you are very familiar with, is the rest and recovery stage, where we have to then breathe, rest, recover, rejuvenate ourselves, nourish ourselves. Those aspects allow you to then eventually come back into the struggle state and enter another flow state. If you never get that break or rest, just constant like,
Yeah.
You don't need that. That's not required. If you can intentionally give yourself that permission and that understanding of the value of rest, it makes getting into your next flow state so much easier. And so that's how I've made my business more playful, and I've stopped being a bad boss to myself by recognizing this true ebb and flow and using play to enter into my flow states. That's been a real game changer.
Yeah, I would imagine, because some years ago I had went back to school and I had the opportunity, to do that. And I did that, and there's these papers due, and I'd be racking my brain. It's like, okay, it's due by minute. And it's like getting later and later. It's one of those things where if you slow down, you can actually go faster, further. Cause that's what I learned. I told people, it's like, you really got to stop banging your head against the wall. I had to get up. I had to walk away, go do something else. And then all of a sudden, like you said, it's like click, something goes in your brain, and it's like, why on earth did I make that so hard? And it just knocked it out. You got the A, whatever. And it's like, yeah, I think we all have a tendency to put way too much pressure on ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That struggle state is just not that very much fun.
No,
so when you
I
feel
think we're
like
all
you've
familiar with the
struggled
struggle
enough,
bus.
yeah, like when you feel like you've done that enough, go play. Like honestly, just go do whatever your version of play is. And play doesn't have to be like silly, goofy, funny hats, although go ahead if that's your jam. That's my jam. I love a good silly hat. But it can be just creative. It can be space. It can be something that doesn't feel like you have to force it to make it happen. TV doesn't really work very well. There's something else that happens, like a hormone release that doesn't really serve the purpose of stage 2 for play. But most other things will, as long as you just kind of take a break. And nature is one of the best ones because it's so distracting that your brain has a really hard time staying in struggle.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. That's one of my favorite, or my music and dancing. It's a happy place. And it's like, or I go out and play with the dog, do something outside, something different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in your experience, what are some common barriers that prevent adults from embracing playfulness in their lives?
I think the biggest one that comes up that I hear is the stigma of I can't be silly around other grown-ups. I'm supposed to be a grown-up or professional, or I can't do that at work. And what will they think? Because we all still think about that. We're still these, adorable mammals who need other humans to survive. Like it's, a lot of us can be pretty independent, but on the same end, we need a bit of interaction with humans often to feel fulfilled. So we worry about being kicked out of the tribe, right? We worry about not getting along, or people thinking that we are not worthy of hanging out with. Exactly, right? So giggling with other grown-ups, even though nothing funny is happening, breaks a lot of social rules. So that can be weird. It just is. There's also rules about how long you can laugh. Like if you're the last one laughing, everybody's looking at you like, all right, it wasn't that funny, even if it was, right? And if you're too loud compared to everybody else, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with her? If your laugh is too screechy, then people have thoughts, and this doesn't feel good to be on the receiving end of. So it makes it harder to do that. And the fact that we have rules about how long we can laugh speaks to us all trying to fit in to a box that had been placed on us. And that's okay. That has served a lot of us well for a long period of time. And also, if it hasn't been, like me, you do not have to stay in a box. Like if you want to laugh loud and for a really long time and about nothing, you can come hang out with me. I'm all in. I will keep giggling too. I'll probably be the loud one. I don't mind. I have a very strange laugh sometimes, like we all do. So Yes, you are welcome here. But yeah, it can feel kind of weird. When you're
Yeah,
in the right crew,
I've done
though.
that too, especially when you're overtired. Some of us like me, if I'm overtired and something hits funny, it's like, yeah, I cannot stop laughing. And my fiance's like, it's really not that funny. I'm like, it is. I'm just overtired. My body just doesn't know what else to do but to just sit there and keep laughing. Or I've laughed so hard I've had tears come out, or I can't breathe. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's a huge release for your body. Like often during a laughter yoga session, I'll start crying. Like I just will because I'm really good at stuffing my emotions down. Like I have practiced that for a long time. I'm good at it. And so the laughter ends up being a release. And so, yeah, sometimes I'll cry in the middle of it. I'll be laughing and crying and laughing and crying. And then I'll laugh some more because I'm crying while I'm trying to laugh. And so it's all good. It all works itself out the way it's supposed to.
so I would say the biggest thing about it is the release, right? Because like you said, I'm sure there's lots of us out there that are so good at stuffing things down, either not wanting to show or think we're not supposed to show, how we're feeling. So we're all good at stuffing things down.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's something you learn to do because it keeps you safe, right? That's all. It just keeps you safe in certain situations. And if you need to do that in a situation to feel okay, go ahead. Like you do what you need to do in all those times.
Yeah.
There also are spaces though, and you can create and cultivate others where it's okay to release and it's okay to be silly and joyful and ridiculous. It's fine. And honestly, it's celebrated in some places too. And if you're missing some of those, they're here. They're around. I can help you find them. We exist.
There are some instances where it may not be appropriate, but that doesn't mean you can't do it later to release whatever you need to release.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that because I was just, like you said, it's something that for whatever reason we stop doing. As kids, you don't think about it. You just do it and you go. You start getting to be an adult, whether it's all your influences and stuff that you've had, but you start getting in your head.
Yeah.
And and we really lose that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Can you explain the concept of the flow states and how playfulness can help individuals achieve that mental state?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not the first to come up with this by any means. Read any positive psychology textbook and it is all in there. And some people speak about it in terms of peak performance. Like you can get yourself into these states in order to really do well and to do your flow work. Flow is like a state where you're not really thinking about it. You kind of lose track of time. You feel really, some people call it in the zone. And it's a time where you tend to produce some really creative work. It can be really like monotonous tasks that you wind up doing, but you wind up doing them really quick. Mm-hmm. That's great too. Like there's no bad way to use one of these states. But staying in a flow state for a really, really long period of time, a lot of us think that's what we want, but that doesn't feel good, to be honest, because you're missing out on all of the other things. Imagine just like trying to write a book, but never leaving a flow state for like 16 hours straight. Like that would be so draining.
Right? It sounds exhausting.
Right? It sounds like so much. Like it would be great in the beginning. This is awesome. I'm doing all the things. But eventually, like you're going to have to go to the bathroom. Like you're going to have to take care of other things too. So you don't really want to stay in that flow state for so long. That's where the rest and recovery is so essential. So if you enter your flow state, you do your thing and everything feels great. And you're like, okay, I'm ready to jump into the next one. You're just out of resources in your body to maintain that and keep that going. So I will say 1,000,000 times over, this rest and recovery not only helps you with flow states, but if you don't engage in rest and recovery, that's your startups for burnout, right? There are a lot of other aspects that can build into burnout and make you feel down in there. Mm-hmm. But not taking rest and recovery is a huge aspect because of whatever you like, people pleasing or what you believe professionalism is or what you should be doing or having boundaries that people are crossing or not having any boundaries at all. I'm familiar with that one. I've learned a lot.
It's okay to say no. Yeah.
Apparently no is a full sentence.
It is. It is. I know. I was like, I always used to feel like I had to explain. And it's like, yeah, no, no. It's a complete sentence.
The sweats when you have to say no in the first place. Like, I
know, because people look at you and it's like, yeah, I don't have to explain.
Oh, And you can wait out that a little bit of awkward silence. Laughter yoga helps you with that because there's a lot of awkwardness and you just learn to deal with it, right? When you're the only one laughing, you learn to deal with some awkwardness until something changes. So yes, you can tolerate a no, period, and then wait, and it can feel strange. And then the other human is going to start talking at some point, and it'll be okay. You'll survive that too.
Yeah, it's funny how we do that because it's like a lot of us get really awkward when there's a silence because it feels like something has to be said, but it doesn't. I don't know where we get all these ideas from or perceptions from, but when they're ingrained in you, sometimes that's hard to kick it loose too.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And you can practice, right? The best thing about, no, what I think one of the best things about laughter yoga is actually being able to practice some of these pieces like you're talking about. Like you can practice awkward silence. that is a laughter game where you go, ha, ha, ha. You make it really awkward. And then you giggle, ha, ha, ha. Because it helps realign your neuronal connections to be like, awkward silence is bad. Awkward silence is bad. But if you have an awkward silence and then you giggle, your brain's like, whoa, hold on. Wait a minute. Is it not bad? Hold on. That can't be true.
What just happened?
Yeah. And that's how you build new connections. That's how you come up with new thoughts and make those really strong. So you can practice what feels hard or uncomfortable or awkward in your real life through laughter and rewire what's going on. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's the fastest way to get new thoughts really, really solid in your brain.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And I'm glad I'm having you on right now because there's already people struggling with their business. And now we're coming into the holidays, which isn't always a happy time for people. Yeah. So I know you can give us tips on how to integrate that, but we need to take a quick break from a word from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
PTSD, anxiety, pain, insomnia, and many other ailments. Introducing Vibe, the world's only pocket PEMF device. You place in your pocket while cooking, cleaning, relaxing, watching TV, sitting at your computer, reading, or walking. Self-contained standalone device. No drugs. No other phone or Bluetooth connections required. No monthly subscription fees. No apps to download. No boson. The future of medicine is in the frequencies. Come join the revolution.
Hey, we got soul. Oh yeah, we got soul.
And we're back. So, Erica, tell us how, or give us maybe some tips or techniques of how people can start integrating laughter yoga, laughter, or being playful, just to release, some of that stress. Like I said, we're coming into the holidays. People are normally already stressed out about their business and stuff. Now they got holidays on top, things that are going on. What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think the easiest in is to do one of those things where you set a alarm on your phone, right? Where it just reminds you and truly pick a very random moment in your day, right? Like pick like 2:17 or something, right? Just something random, a time when no other alarms would go off on your phone. And that is just your playful alarm where it just reminds you, oh, in this moment, do something that feels like play to you. It can be something like, just do that. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be involved. It doesn't have to require materials, but use something just to playful, right? And then continue on with your day and continue on with what you're doing. But if you do that even just for a few times, you'll find yourself boop, 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 in the middle of the day, maybe, and I did a little like, nobody saw me, right? Like, and then you'll start to feel a little more adventurous, and maybe like, someone will ask you, oh, what's the alarm for? Oh, yep, it's my playful alarm. I have to do this every day. Some doctor lady told me I had to do it. Right? And then they'll start doing it. Why? Why do you have to do a silly thing every moment? Oh, because it lowers my cortisol, lowers my stress hormones. It can help regulate my heart rate. It can impact my cholesterol and my blood sugar, all of these things by simply laughing. So I have to do it. It's important. It's as important as doing squats, right? Like it is right up there with taking care of myself. So that's a really easy in. If you know you're feeling stressed, like you know that like shoulders are touching your ears thing, I always encourage you to just do this one simple laughter game. It is something you can do silently, or you can do it out loud by yourself in a group, doesn't matter. So you just take a deep breath in, let it out, breathe it in, hold it, and now just let it out. What this does is it forces you to take a deep breath, right? Fill your lungs up with really good, healthy oxygen. You'll notice your shoulders come down. You'll feel more grounded to whatever you're sitting on or standing on or leaning on or sleeping on, whatever.
Right.
But it's enough of an easy shift. You can do this when you are in line waiting to buy presents. You can when you're online waiting to buy presents and scrolling and that one's crap, I don't want that one. Take a deep breath and just giggle it out. It's enough to just do a quick shift to help you feel more in the moment. And then you can feel in your body, is this what you want to be doing right now? Do you want to be scrolling? Do you want to be fighting with social media? Do you want to be sitting on this networking call? Like what feels good to you? If you want to do it, keep on keeping on. If you don't, you have permission to stop. Really, just stop. You don't like the stuff you're buying, put it down on a shelf and move yourself on out. It'll be okay. It's like, I just encourage you to find what feels playful for you in the moment that is easy in, no matter where you're kind of at.
Yeah, your whole blah, blah, blah. That reminds me of me trying to make shorts because I wind up tripping over my tongue, and this one's like, oh my God. And if I get myself laughing, it's like, okay, I just like force myself to keep doing it. And eventually it's like, there it is. Okay, cool. We're done. Yes. But yeah, beautiful. At least normally I'm home alone though when that's happening, because otherwise I think somebody's going to come after me with a straitjacket. So I'm like,
I understand completely. It's taken time for the humans around me to just accept that I'm going to start giggling out of nowhere sometimes, and it's fine. My dog, she's a very reactive dog. I used to record laughter videos, and anytime I would start laughing, she'd like jump up, like concerned face right here. Like, are you ill? I'm not ill. Like, we're fine. She's learned laughter is healthy. Humans are weird, but sometimes we laugh by ourselves too. So.
No, yeah, I have a service dog too. So any strange things, like he'll come in and be like, what's going on? What's wrong? I'm like, no, I'm fine, really. But yeah, I mean, it overall, it just makes you feel a lot lighter. I think we take a lot of things way too seriously. I'm not saying we don't have serious situations, but you got to be able to combat that somehow.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
The playfulness isn't to forget about important things. It's not to make little of anything. It's not really like laughing at, like, I'm never laughing at someone. Like, oh, that person's so awful. Like, that's not what this is about. That doesn't bring joy, right? And some people ask, oh, but it brings some people joy to laugh at other people falling down and things like that. And it's not really that it's bringing them joy. It's probably feeding an insecurity that they have, though. If that's what they need in that moment, let that human do what they need to do. It's okay, right? But the one that will really replenish you is more about that, what feels expansive in here, right? When laughing, because in otters, when they sleep, they hold hands, and that's adorable, and that makes me smile and laugh and feel full and big, and I want to tell people about it.
I've seen those. Yeah.
So cute.
That is so cute. Good Lord. So we can come back to that. I had a question. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay. So positive psychology, you've taken positive psychology. You were talking about laughing when someone falls down. Now, I know a lot of adults subscribe to that when their kids do it, because if you go, oh my God, you get all worried, then the kid really cries and, gets into it rather than saying, oh, I'm okay. It's not like you're laughing at them, but you're telling them, oh, it's okay. And they just kind of dust themselves off and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
It's all about your intention, right? If you're like, oh my goodness, are you like trying to help show them like you are safe? Yeah, you fell down and you scraped your knee and you're safe and everything's okay and you can get up and keep going. That's a really healthy response. Now, if they've fallen down, they scraped their knee and they're really in pain and crying and you try to meet them with, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. They don't believe you. And so that strategy won't work in that moment. If you tried it and it didn't work, okay, just pick another one, right? Let's try then. Okay, do you need a hug? Do you need a Band-Aid? Do you need kisses? Like, what do you need? What will help you in this moment? And maybe they don't know because they're little, and that's fine. I don't even always know what I need. It's okay. I'm big, and I still don't always know what I need. It's okay. But it's hard for a hug to go too wrong, right? Unless they're like, stop touching me, I don't want that. Okay, respect that. But overall, you're showing them you're safe. And that's what that comes to. Like, oh, okay, let's keep going. Means you're safe. You're okay. Yes, it hurts. And you're okay. Let's keep on keeping on. And most of the times that's met with pretty positive response, unless it's a big injury. And then you change tactics and that's okay too.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's kind of, I always called it embracing being perfectly imperfect. Once you did that and stopped being the perfectionism, like it gets easier to laugh at yourself. And it's like, you know what? People are either going to laugh with you or they're not. When you said that about, I'm not laughing at you, it's like, that's what I always tell myself, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. And the other person might be, well, I wasn't really laughing. I'm like, well, probably should be.
You can. I invite you to laugh along with me if you'd like. I'm good here. Yes, absolutely. Always an invitation, right?
Oh, always. Absolutely. Here. Absolutely. So what tips do you have for someone that's struggling to find their creative flow and how laughter can assist in the journey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you find it hard to turn it on yourself, you're not alone by any means. A lot of us struggle with that. So I would really encourage you to find a crew. There are laughter yoga classes all over. There are recorded ones if you're feeling hesitant to join one live. They have them in person. They have them online. There are some where it's just a phone call where no one even says anything. You just call, everyone's on just a phone and everyone just starts giggling and just laugh and laugh and laugh for 15 minutes and then everybody hangs up and moves along. Like there's no content except the giggling. So I would encourage you to find a crew. And if again, that feels like still too much, I'm not quite ready for that. Find a friend, watch something silly together, right? Send silly text messages to each other, send way too many emojis that make no sense whatsoever, right? Like, just do something that's little and playful, and you can work up into doing more and more and more. But find for you what feels playful. And I know some adults sometimes have a hard time. I don't know. I haven't played in so long. I don't know. It's funny. What do you want me to do? Pull out some blocks? I don't know. If you got blocks, try it. Like, I don't know. Sure. I don't know. You are welcome to find a kid's toy or a grown-up toy and go for it. But you can also think about what was fun when you were a kid. Right? What did you enjoy doing when no one was telling you what to do or you're kind of hanging on your own? What did you choose to do? Did you read? Did you draw? Did you create? Did you build? Did you break stuff? Did you dig for worms? Like, I don't know. As a grown-up, go out and dig for some worms. It's fine. Like, you can do you now as a grown-up just like you did as a kid. And that can be a lovely little gateway into what you find fun as well.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how we get so stuck in the adult world and what we're supposed to do that we stop doing the things that we love. We stop doing the things we enjoy, or we may not even, remember what it was that we did, or we might find something totally new.
Absolutely. Have fun. It's nice being a grown-up because you can do what you want whenever you want to. You don't have to wait until someone gives you permission to whatever. For me, yeah. I think one of the first things I started doing was remembering that I can eat cake even when it's not a birthday. Like, you can just eat cake as a grown-up. Like, you don't have to wait for it to be a birthday. You could just go to the store and get a cake. It's glorious.
I can have dessert first before my meal, so that way I'm not full and can't get to the dessert.
Yes.
You have that option as an adult.
Amazing. Yeah. My college roommate loved art supplies that would allow her to color that looked good. Like not like, the crayons that are like kind of like crummy. Like she wanted good crayons. Let's do it. So we used to color Scooby-Doo coloring books with good crayons and it would feel awesome. So yeah, teach your own, whatever feels good.
And you said you have the laughter video. So that's on your YouTube channel, right? Because I put the QR code up for that. So you have lots of laughter videos that people could tune into and start practicing their own laughter as well, right?
Yep, you got it. And I'm not the only lady. There are a lot of us who out there create the videos. So find what works for you. Find what feels fun. Watch a 5-minute video. Watch an hour-long video. Do whatever feels good. There are plenty that are like 30 seconds long where it's one quick laughter game and there you go. Go back to your work or whatever it is you were doing.
Yeah. No, it's neat. I didn't even, like I said, when I first started learning that was out there, it's like, if you think about it, probably a lot of us were kind of exposed to it, but not really knowing. Because you got all those funny videos out there. My friend loves, she's pounded determined to own a baby cow, and so I get all these videos of these like little cute baby cows. They're miniature fuzzy cows. She goes, I want a miniature fuzzy cow. So I get these videos from her with miniature fuzzy cows. They'll be walking through a doggy door and in the house and out, and I was just like, oh my god.
Oh, it makes me so happy. So now I've been the playful lady for a while here. And I will get text messages from people. This made me think of you. I just got one that was something like a groundhog or somebody eating cabbage. Like it was some adorable little creature just eating cabbage. And it said, if you watch 15 minutes of this creature eating cabbage, you'll feel better. And it's right. I watched 15 seconds of it and I felt better. So yes, I love getting messages like that. So go ahead and send them off to your friends and anyone you know. Just send videos. You cannot go wrong.
Yeah, and you never know. You could actually send that to somebody. You don't know how their day is going, right? You might actually be able to help lighten up somebody else's day, by sending them something. It might be just enough to break whatever was going on or happening in that day.
Absolutely. Yes. You never know the ripple effect, right, of what it is that you're doing. And if they don't like it, whatever. You probably had a good time sending it. So just take it as the win. It's okay. If they tell you that they liked it, bonus points. Yeah. Like even better.
Win-win. There you go. Win-win.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to someone who feels like too serious or disconnected from their playful side?
Yeah. I think number one, you are not alone. Just know that you are not the only one who's feeling this way. Even people who have felt playful can feel that way again. It's okay. Our moods change. Our response to things change. What's happening around us changes, and that's okay. And you have lots and lots of agency about how much playfulness you bring into your life. Now, if you are working a role where you really can't be playful or joking around, that's okay. You do not have to act like that in front of clients or in front of a boss where that's going to, injure your reputation or something like that. But you can find playfulness in your own moments as you need. I worked a role for a while that I needed to be very serious in front of the client and customer, and that was fine. And I learned I needed these like on the pressure cooker where you hit the valve and goes some of the steam out.
Let the steam out, yeah.
Yeah, I used to go into the bathroom and go into a stall and do the like superhero poses to help. And I used to shake off all the seriousness that I was experiencing. Because there's a real thing, like animals, after they experience stress, they do a full body shake to dispel that energy. Humans, we think that's kind of weird, or we don't really do that. But we should really do that because it really, really helps. And just literally physically shaking out your body can absolutely alter your energy, neurochemicals, on all of the things that you're feeling. If you're feeling really tight in your chest or the top of your stomach, shaking it out in a deep breath really changes your experience of your body. So I used to go to the bathroom and do that and just find a way to pull the seriousness off. And I would go back and I had explore.org, the app on my phone. It's live animal cameras. Because there's always, the kitten cam is always on and the kittens are always adorable. So I would just watch it for 30 seconds, a minute, however long I needed to just be like, life in this life doesn't have to feel like this. This life doesn't have to feel like this. Adorable kittens are sleeping all over the world right now, and I can take a deep breath and I can be okay. So find your ins. If animals aren't your thing, that's fine, right? Listen to a clip of your favorite comedian on YouTube if you must. Find a song that you remember listening to in high school that makes you want to boogie and dance a little bit, right? Whatever you have
and
to
not
do,
care what people think.
right? Especially when you're in the bathroom, whatever, you can do whatever you need to. The bathroom is the place where you get to do whatever you need to do to get yourself feeling together. It's fine. Everything goes. So you do what you got to do. Those are my kind of easy in advice. Mm-hmm. And then I would say plan it out as much as you can. Make it routine so that it doesn't just fall away. Say fun and strong affirmations. We write them in chalk marker on our bathroom mirror just to help us feel amazing and strong and powerful. That can feel really playful. I used to live someplace where we had silly hat Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we wore silly hats. That was what we did. It was a thing. Anyone who would come over, you had to pull a hat out of the closet because it's silly hat Wednesday. So you can make it bigger and things, and you can host events that are silly in nature, right? You can always send pictures of, whatever you and your friends find funny to each other on Fridays and just make it be a thing. You can make it bigger and bigger and bigger, but if you're struggling in the beginning, just find your easy ends.
Yeah, and I'm sure with all the stuff, I won't mention the A word because she'll be listening behind me, but you have that or serious or whatever, I'm sure you could probably program it, right? And set an alarm to
absolutely,
I don't know, tell you a dumb joke of the day or share something or have it play your favorite song at a certain time. And we've got a lot of things at our fingertips now, I think nowadays that could help with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can change the, if you wake up to an alarm, you can change it. It doesn't have to be a silly, like, ring-a-ling-a-linga, right? You can make it a fun thing. You can make it an affirmation that you want to hear. It can be a joke that you hear every morning that makes you laugh so hard that you get out of bed giggling. It's great. Technology, let's use it.
Yeah, I normally change them to different tunes. And sometimes it's funny to see other people's reactions because even ringtones, I have certain songs attached to certain people.
Yes, it's the best.
So it's like, oh, yep, okay, I know who that is.
That's really smart too. It's good, like cognitive spacing. Like I love that.
Yeah, if it's the other regular tunes, like I don't necessarily have to answer that, but you could put tunes to who you know is calling, and then sometimes I just let it ring because I just rather listen to the tune. But
I get that. Yes.
Yeah,
a very playful strategy. I love it.
But how cool is that you were able to recognize that, go through all of that, go through the burnout, and now embrace yourself in a business that spreads joy, laughter, helps others, lighten the mood, and help them change their perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This has been the best, most fun job I've ever had. So this is way better than a lot of the others I've had.
I don't really know how it couldn't be, but so who do you work with a lot for your clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of time I'm working with people who recognize that the seriousness thing they've taken a little too far, and that's okay. It's a lot of times people are looking to transition careers or are kind of mired in the monotony of parenting and need a little bit of a break and a little bit of chance to this playfulness, whether it's a laughter class or a coaching session, can help break some of that and help you to just think in a new way and find a little bit more of creativity to get there. And I also help entrepreneurs who are looking to have fun with their business and develop programs that feel like exciting to offer. Again, here are all the SEO words and everything, and I shoved it all in, and I have a perfect sales page, and that's all important and good. And you can have a lot of fun with it too. And so I help people figure out how to add the playfulness back into how they approach their business too.
Yeah, which I think is a good quality because we build our business to be successful, to have more time with our home, but yet you don't want the fun to go out of it. You don't want it to be fun. You don't want what you love to do becoming a job, because then that's not fun.
Yes. Yes. And you can get that seriousness pop in again. And when you have that I have to figure it out. I have a lot of pressure. Your right hemisphere really doesn't function as well. You don't come up with as creative solutions. But if you can activate, turn on your right hemisphere, and you could do that by giggling and by playing, and or, you could just play. You don't even have to laugh if you don't want to, right? But if you want to just play, you'll turn on your right hemisphere and you come up with better, more like straightforward solutions to your problems that feel better too.
So what are some of the games or programs maybe that you've come up with for a client that work well?
Yeah. So a lot of times what we'll do is figure out, I'll help them get into a struggle state. Tell me about what sucks. Tell me what's really hard. It's a really good first question, right? Tell me about what's been really hard. Tell me where you're getting stuck. What's going on there? And then I will ask them questions and not at all related to the problem. What did you used to do for fun? Where'd you like to go bike riding? Who was your best friend? What'd you guys like to do together? To take them out of the struggle space and into the play and remembering things that were fun. Turning on the right hemisphere, doing some giggling as needed and as appropriate, right? Tell me about the hobbies you used to have. Tell me about the silliest thing you remember from high school. And you see a change and you feel a change in your body. And then we say, okay, so that problem you were talking about, if you were that person who is feeling light and easygoing and had a good time in high school, what advice would that person give you about this problem? And they come up with these beautiful solutions. Some of them are not realistic. That's fine. We can get them to be realistic, but they're always more creative and they come from a different part of your brain. It's not logical, analytical, I must get it done, it must be perfect kind of zone. It's more like, ooh, what if we tried it this way? And ooh, wouldn't it be cool if I asked this person for help? And then how do we finish it? We say, okay, can you ask that person to help you? And a lot of times they're like, yeah, I can. Okay, do you want to email them right now? And so they'll type the email and we'll move on and we'll go to the next thing. And often we get responses in the same coaching session from the person they emailed for helping. Oh yeah, totally, I'll help you. Here's this thing. And so it's really beautiful and it's really fun and coaching doesn't hurt in any way. It's supposed to be a way to help people move forward. So, and if you can do it while playing, even better.
Yeah, well, and it really kind of helps them relax because how many times have we ourselves told people, hey, if there's something I can do to help you, let me know. But then when it's the other way around, it seems to be difficult to ask for that help when you need it for whatever reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of that same kind of stigma, right? If I ask for help, they'll know I'm struggling.
Yeah. It's not like, yeah.
We are all humans. We are all struggling all day, every day. I promise. We are all struggling. It's okay. Ask for help. Even if you don't know what you need. I get some text messages sometimes like, I don't know what I need, but I need help. Okay, let's ask some questions. Let's see what happens. Let's see where we can go. So,
I've had some people that say, what can I do for you? How can I help? I'm like, I don't know. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. And sometimes they'll come up with something. I'll be like, yeah, okay, that sounds cool because it'll just turn on. Because when you get, I don't know about you, but I'm one of them heady people. I get too much in my head sometimes and I get stuck. So like you said, I personally need those times of breaks to just recognize it, walk away, because otherwise, I don't get much done. I will get stuck.
Yes. I think one thing you can ask for if, how can I help you? What can I do? You can always ask them, can you send me a joke? Just ask them to tell you a joke. And who knows what'll come out. It might not be funny at all. And it might be very funny. But either way, now you're both laughing. So that probably helped. Even if it didn't solve your burning business problem, it didn't get you the next client or anything. It does something to your brain. And I bet your connection with that person is a little bit stronger now too.
Yeah, and you're probably going to catch them off guard because I don't know too many people that ask that. But
isn't that the best?
It is, because like I said, it goes back to taking things too seriously or too, focused on stuff. So we have a few minutes left, Erica. How do you envision a world that prioritizes the joy, playfulness, and what steps do you think can we take to make that vision a reality?
Oh, I love that question. Oh my gosh. I see the world looking really similar, honestly, just us feeling happier, right? The world is going to have its big issues and they serve purpose. And we can individually make the choice to also feel good. And the more that we feel good, again, the more we can solve the problems, right? I'm pretty sure we can figure out this whole, we got piles of garbage in the ocean thing. Like, I think we could solve that, right? If we could take a deep breath and we could all turn on our creative problem solving, I bet we could figure it out, right? I bet we could figure out a lot of the big issues that we have going on here if we turned on a little bit more play. It's hard, though, when you also have to have the dishes done and you need clean pants for tomorrow and the kids are screaming. Like, there's a lot of real life that happens. But if you can playfully load your dishwasher and your kids watch that, maybe they stop screaming, right? Maybe you're just boogieing down while putting the plates in. That's weird and different and funny. And maybe it helps the environment in your home feel better. And if that was the only thing that came out of you being more playful, what a beautiful gift, right? Like, that's a huge deal for you. Anyone who's around you, that feeling of lightness, I think, can make a really big difference for what's going on. Even if it doesn't feel like it's solving world hunger, I think it's helping. Right?
Yeah.
And the more you can apply it, not just to the dishwasher, right? Maybe you apply it to holidays that maybe we're feeling stressful. Maybe you can apply it to clients who are being a little bit adversarial, right? There's a way to remember that we are all just humans trying. Like, we're just all humans trying, all of us, even the celebrities, the people making decisions. Like, we are all just humans trying. And if we could just remember that and just add a little playfulness, I think it goes a long way. I know it's helped me a ton. Like, my life looks very different today than it used to look before reading the article about laughter yoga. So thank you to whoever wrote that article and started this silly pathway that I am now on. And now I get to share it here. And I get to meet you. And this is all feeling really good and positive. And we've had about an hour of giggling. So that can't be bad. Right?
No, that can't be. We always said laughter is the best medicine. And I'd have to agree with you. I would say playfulness absolutely transforms everything. And if the sooner we can be playful and laugh about something and not wait till years down the road to look back and laugh at something, the better off I think we'll be.
Yes, I agree so much.
Erica, I want to thank you so much for being on here and taking the time to share all that with our community. It definitely is always helpful to have a good laugh in the middle of your day or whenever you need one. But if you are on that struggle bus or you are struggling, obviously connect with Dr. Buchholz here. She will obviously make you laugh. I don't know how I cannot laugh to be around you. It is contagious. But it's been a pleasure to have you on here. And I really look forward to seeing where this goes, because I'm like you. I would love to see more people laughing either at themselves or at life and just enjoy it more.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. Such a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Everybody that joined us, I hope you had a good time and at least a good laugh with us, and take care for the rest of your week, and we will see you next time.